Ladies and gentlemen, you've probably heard stories of gold hidden deep beneath the earth. But have you ever imagined that one day sand itself could turn into gold? Yes, it sounds unbelievable, but this is the real story of Burkina Faso's President Ibrahim Traore and his extraordinary project that left the world stunned. In a land where people once dismissed sand as worthless, today that very sand is transforming into treasure as valuable as gold. But how did this miracle happen? What exactly was this project? And how did it change the lives of millions? Let's uncover this remarkable journey. When Ibrahim Traore looked at the state of his country, his heart broke. The people were trapped in poverty and hunger. The land around them was nothing but endless piles of sand that nobody cared about. But Traore believed that nature never creates anything useless. He dared to dream of something no one else had ever imagined, turning sand into wealth. At first, people mocked him. They laughed. They said, "Has he gone mad? How can worthless sand become treasure?" But Ibrahim Traore didn't back down. He turned the impossible into possible. When he first revealed his vision, crowds were shocked. He told them, "The sand beneath your feet, inside it lies the future of our lives." Some laughed. Some dismissed it as nonsense. But a few farmers and young men believed in his dream. Traore explained that if this sand was properly collected and refined, it could release minerals that the world considers highly valuable. And so, a small group came together, determined to make this dream a reality. The early days were brutal. Scorching heat, exhaustion, hunger. Many gave up and walked away. But those who stayed because of one thing: faith in Traore's vision. Then, one day, something incredible happened. From the sand, the first sparkling particles appeared. Not just dust, but traces of precious minerals. The moment people saw it, everything changed. What was once laughed at became real. Soon, the news spread. The ground was giving up its hidden treasures. The villages erupted in joy. Women prayed in gratitude. Children ran to the sand piles, eyes wide with wonder. Old men, who had lived in despair for decades, felt hope return to their eyes. Burkina Faso was no longer barren land. It was a land of opportunity. But Traore didn't stop there. He didn't just discover wealth. He wanted to protect it. He taught his people that these resources weren't just for today, but for generations to come. Training centers were built. Local youth were educated. Small hubs were created where minerals were safely stored for future use. Slowly, lives began to transform. The once hungry villages were now alive with work, opportunity, and hope. Farmers received tools to work their land. Laborers found jobs, and the youth gained education and training that once felt like an impossible dream. People began saying, "Ibrahim Traore didn't just give us wealth, he gave us hope, and hope is the greatest treasure of all." The project caught the world's attention. Newspapers, television channels, even international leaders looked at Burkina Faso in awe. A country once known for poverty and struggle was now rewriting its destiny. Experts said, if other nations adopt this model, they too can transform their future. When the project was completed, joy swept through the nation. Families embraced. Tears of relief flowed, and kitchens that had been cold for years lit up again. Children who once cried from hunger now laughed. Elders who had given up on life now prayed for Traore's long years ahead. This wasn't just a project. It was a revolution of hope. Burkina Faso, once forgotten, had become an example to the world. From Europe to Asia to Africa, leaders began studying this model, wondering how they could bring the same miracle to their nations. And at last, the people of Burkina Faso, who had once lived in thirst, hunger, and despair, now walked with smiles on their faces and dreams in their eyes. Children who once searched for water now studied in schools. Mothers who once carried the weight of survival could finally rest in peace. All of this became possible because Ibrahim Traore dared to believe in something others called impossible. As people say, he didn't just give life to the land, he gave peace to the hearts of his people. Ladies and gentlemen, this story isn't just about Burkina Faso. It's a lesson for all of us. If one person's vision can change millions of lives, imagine what we can achieve when we dare to dream. From grains of sand to rivers of hope, this project became a sea of life for an entire nation. May every country be blessed with leaders who feel their people's pain as their own. We hope you enjoyed today's story. Stay tuned. Our next journey will take us to another corner of the world. Until then, take care and goodbye.